Have you ever sat on your porch, sipping a cup of tea and wondered, what's the secret to waking up each morning with a little more spring in your step? Maybe you've even asked yourself, is it possible to not just live longer, but to truly enjoy those years? Well, my friend, you're not alone. And today we're going to explore something fascinating together. The stories of people who've cracked the code. People who've celebrated their 100th birthday, and then some. You see, scattered around the globe are these special places. Scientists call them blue zones. Think Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya in Costa Rica. Pockets of the world where living past 100 isn't just rare, it's ordinary. And the best part? These centenarians aren't just surviving, they're thriving, laughing with grandchildren, tending gardens, dancing at family gatherings. So what do they know that we can learn? Let's find out. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but those places are so different from my life. And you're right. Their landscapes, their cultures, their meals might not look like ours. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find habits, simple, everyday choices that anyone can adopt no matter where you call home. Today, we'll uncover the first few, and I promise they might surprise you. Let's start with something so basic, you might not even notice you're doing it, or not doing it. In these longevity hotspots, people aren't hitting the gym for marathon sessions or counting steps on fancy gadgets. Instead, they're moving naturally all day long. Picture a Sardinian shepherd tending his sheep up and down those rugged hills, or an Okinawan grandmother kneeling in her vegetable garden, weeding for hours. They're not exercising, they're just living. Here's the takeaway. Your body is built to move, not to sit in a chair or lie on a couch for hours. Now, I'm not saying you need to climb a mountain, but what if you found small ways to weave motion into your day? Maybe it's parking a little farther from the grocery store entrance, or swapping your recliner for a rocking chair that keeps your legs gently working. Even something as simple as stretching your arms while the coffee brews. The key is to keep it easy and enjoyable, because if it feels like a chore, you won't stick with it. Now let's talk about something we all love, food. But not diets, restrictions, or calorie counting. In the blue zones, meals are a celebration, not a math problem. Take Okinawa, where they live by the phrase harahachi-bu, which means eat until you're 80% full. It's not about deprivation, it's about listening to your body, slowing down, savoring each bite. And here's the twist. Their plates are bursting with color, but not from processed snacks or sugary drinks. Think hearty vegetables, beans that have simmered for hours, whole grains that stick to your ribs. In Sardinia, they drizzle fresh-pressed olive oil over everything. Did you know that stuff's packed with antioxidants? And in Nicoya, they'll serve up a corn tortilla with black beans and squash straight from the garden. It's simple food, but it's real food. Now I can hear some of you saying, but I've been eating the same way for decades. And that's okay. This isn't about overhauling your life overnight. Start small. Next time you're at the store, grab one extra vegetable you've never tried, or swap out that salty canned soup for a homemade batch with fresh herbs. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. But here's the secret ingredient that ties it all together. And it's not something you can buy at the market. In every blue zone, family and community aren't just important, they're everything. Okinawans have their moai, a tight-knit group of friends who've supported each other for life. In Sardinia, grandparents often live with their children and grandchildren, sharing stories, wisdom, and laughter around the dinner table. You see, loneliness isn't just hard on the heart, it's hard on the body. Studies show that strong social ties can add years to your life. But here's the good news. Connection doesn't require a big family or a crowded calendar. It could be a weekly phone call with an old friend, a smile, and a chat with the cashier at your local pharmacy. Even adopting a pet, someone to greet you with a wagging tail every morning. So far, we've covered 3 simple keys: move naturally, eat with purpose, and connect with your tribe. But here's what's truly inspiring. These aren't drastic changes. They're gentle shifts, little choices that add up over time. And the beauty is, you can start today, right now. But we're just getting started, because there's more to these centenarian stories, like how they find joy in everyday moments, or the surprising ways they handle stress. And trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. You know, there's a saying in Okinawa, Ishi no ue nimo sannen. Roughly translated, it means even a cold stone will warm up if you sit on it for 3 years. In other words, persistence matters. But here's the thing. Those centenarians we talked about, they're not just persisting. They're thriving because they've found something deeper. Something that gets them out of bed every morning with a quiet sense of anticipation. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you lost track of time because you were so absorbed in something you loved? Maybe it was tending to your roses, strumming an old guitar, or flipping through photo albums with a grandchild. In the blue zones, people don't retire in the way we often think of it. They keep contributing, creating, and caring, right up until their final years. Okinawans call it ikigai, your reason for being. For some, it's a lifelong craft, like the Sardinian grandfather who still teaches his great-grandchildren how to roll handmade pasta. For others, it's as simple as caring for a neighbor's cat or sharing stories at the local library. Here's the lesson. Purpose isn't a grand, dramatic mission. It's the small, steady threads that weave meaning into your days. Maybe your ikigai is mentoring a young person in your community, or writing letters to old friends, or even keeping a journal of family recipes. The key is to find what makes you feel needed. Because when you do, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. Now let's talk about something we all face: stress. Oh, I know. Modern life makes it feel unavoidable. Traffic, bills, the 24-hour news cycle. But in the blue zones, stress isn't something to manage. It's something to release. Take the Nicoyans in Costa Rica, who start each day with a leisurely coffee on the porch, watching the sunrise. Or the Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda, California, another blue zone, who set aside time every week for quiet reflection and prayer. They've mastered the art of slowing down, even if just for a few moments, to let their bodies and minds reset. And here's the science behind it. Chronic stress, it's like pouring gasoline on the flames of aging. It wears down your immune system, tightens your muscles, and even shortens your telomeres, those little caps on your DNA that act like a biological clock. But Blue Zone folks have a trick, daily rituals that hit the pause button. For Sardinian shepherds, it's a midday nap under an olive tree. For Okinawans, it's a few minutes each morning honoring their ancestors at a small home altar. It doesn't have to be complicated. What if you set aside 10 minutes a day to sit quietly with a cup of tea and listen to the birds? Or took a slow stroll around your backyard, noticing the way the light filters through the leaves? But here's the twist. They also know how to celebrate. In Ikaria, Greece, a place they call the island where people forget to die, locals regularly gather for festivals that last all night, dancing to traditional music and laughing until their sides ache. They're not avoiding life's hardships. They're balancing them with moments of pure, unapologetic joy. So what's your version of that? Maybe it's a weekly card game with friends, or blasting your favorite big band record while you fold laundry. Joy isn't frivolous. It's fuel. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Moderation. You've probably heard 100 times that everything's fine in moderation. But in the blue zones, this isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. Take wine, for example. In Sardinia, they enjoy a glass of deep red Cannonau wine most evenings. But here's the catch. It's never about drinking alone or drowning sorrows. It's about sharing a glass with loved ones, alongside a plate of hearty bread and sharp pecorino cheese. The alcohol isn't the star, the connection is. And when it comes to treats, Blue Zone centenarians aren't counting calories, but they're also not binging on sweets. In Okinawa, dessert might be a slice of fresh mango or a square of dark bitter chocolate. They savor it slowly, letting the flavor linger rather than rushing to the next bite. It's a gentle reminder. You don't have to give up what you love. Just relish it. Now I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes for a moment. Well, metaphorically, since you're watching this. Picture yourself 10 years from now. What do you see? Are you surrounded by people who make you smile? Are you still doing the little things that light up your soul? The habits we've talked about today, finding purpose, releasing stress, savoring life's pleasures. They're not just about living longer. They're about living brighter. But we're not done yet, because there's one more thread that ties all these habits together, a surprising, often overlooked factor that might just be the glue holding the Blue Zone's secrets in place. If you're still watching this video and find this information valuable, please comment your thoughts below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. And now let's continue. That glue I mentioned earlier, it's not a pill, a potion, or some far-off fountain of youth. It's something far simpler. And yet it's woven into every one of those centenarian stories we've shared. It's the deep, unshakable sense that you belong to a place, to a people, to a purpose bigger than yourself. Take the Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda, for instance. Their faith isn't just about rituals. It's a compass that guides everything from what they eat to how they spend their Fridays. They gather weekly, not out of obligation, but because it's a chance to recharge together. And in Ikaria, that island where people forget to die, villagers wake up each morning knowing they're part of a living tapestry, a community that's relied on one another for generations. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't need a specific religion or a centuries-old village to feel this. Belonging can be as simple as tending a community garden, joining a book club, or even striking up a conversation with a neighbor over the fence. It's about knowing you're rooted somewhere, that your presence matters. Now, let's talk about something we all crave, but rarely prioritize: rest. Not just sleep, though that's vital. I'm talking about the kind of rest that nourishes your soul. In Sardinia, they've perfected the art of the afternoon pisolino, a short nap that's not about escaping the day, but savoring it. And in Nicoya, families often gather on porches in the evening, rocking in chairs, sharing stories as the sun dips low. They're not rushing to the next task. They're letting the day breathe. Science tells us that quality sleep can lower your risk of heart disease, sharpen your mind, and even boost your mood. But in the blue zones, rest isn't just a biological need, it's a ritual. So what if you carved out a small pause in your day? Maybe it's turning off the TV an hour earlier to read a beloved novel, or lying in bed each morning for 5 extra minutes, stretching slowly, and setting a calm tone for the day. It's not laziness, it's respect for the body that's carried you this far. Now let's tie all this together. We've talked about moving naturally, eating with purpose, connecting with your tribe, finding your ikigai, releasing stress, savoring joy in moderation, and nurturing your sense of belonging. But here's the truth. These habits aren't a checklist. They're threads in the same tapestry, a lifestyle where every choice gently supports the others. You might be thinking, that's a lot to change. But remember, the centenarians in these zones didn't overhaul their lives overnight. They simply lived in ways that honored their bodies, their relationships, and their joy, day after day, year after year. So start small. Pick one thing that resonates with you. Maybe it's adding a handful of beans to your soup for extra protein, or calling a friend every Sunday afternoon. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. And here's something I want you to carry with you. Aging isn't a problem to solve. It's a natural, beautiful journey, one that can be filled with curiosity, connection, and even reinvention. I've met 80-year-olds who took up painting for the first time, and 90-year-olds who fell in love with Tai Chi. It's never too late to write a new chapter. So, my friend, as we wrap up our time together, I want to leave you with this. You hold more power over your vitality than you might think. It's not about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And if you take just one thing from this video, let it be this. Your story isn't finished. Every sunrise is a chance to choose joy, to reach out, to move, to savor, to belong. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you'll try this week? Share it in the comments below. Let's inspire each other. And if this video resonated with you, pass it along to a friend or family member. After all, the best lessons are the ones we share. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed our journey through the Blue Zones, and subscribe to the channel for more stories on living well at every age. Remember, growing older is a privilege, one that's denied to far too many. So here's to honoring the years ahead, one intentional, joyful step at a time. Until next time, keep shining. The world's brighter with you in it.